And we're back. I'm Joe Martino
Michael Ianieri.
And welcome to the Highly Original Podcast. And we are on episode 9.
Episode 9. Highly Original, episode 9.
Exactly. So, I guess, yeah. So, we'll start with some of our updates, as we normally do. Mike and I, as you guys know, we started an Instagram. It's been going all right.
Right.
We're trying to get our we're trying to grow the podcast. We're trying to get out there a little bit. So we're exploring some options right now, and we're still talking about the Spotify option, trying to get some more streaming platforms to have us.
Right.
So we will be more accessible to people. And so I guess, Mike, we'll start with you. How you been? What's up?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just getting a lot of work done, man. A lot of illustrating.
How is the show coming? Because I feel like a lot of people who listen that I know personally have been asking questions about the show.
Really? Yeah.
They're like, yeah. I mean, so I feel you haven't yet shared the basic synopsis. And before you go into basic synopsis, I want you to explain to everybody how much of it is done. How much of it's ready.
How much is ready?
Yeah.
So I'll briefly how much is ready. Not a whole lot. I'd say about 25% of actual content for the episode is ready. A lot of what I've been working on these past couple months, animation-wise, is just more or less getting a feel for what kind of style I want to consistently go throughout the episode.
Okay.
As opposed to me just running into this thing blind and start animating and in the beginning it looks kind of one way and then towards the end we can see that my animation progress, it looks different. So I want everything to be just a very cohesive machine in this episode.
Okay, yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
But a synopsis, yeah, it's this main character, Dev. Takes a little, for the
little bit of hallucinogenics.
A little bit of a hallucinogenic.
Or am I wrong?
No, it's a mushroom. Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
Some magic mushrooms, and then ends up. We don't know if they're a trip. We don't know if they're real. He meets these bears.
See, I'm already about to This is what this is what I love about the concept of this show, because I love stuff like this. It's the whole thing is is any of it real, or is he just tripping? Because that's when you first said this to me, I was like, Mike, I love that concept.
Right? That's what the feedback I've been getting has been really great. I'm blessed about that.
But why would we not know whether it's real? Because I cut you off.
Well, no, I mean I don't know, because everything. He's going to be living with 2 bears, but they're going to be taken seriously as humans.
They talk and wear clothes.
You see, yeah. There's and I'd say 60% of the characters in this show are going to be freaking talking animals. I almost said a bad word there.
That's all right. Yeah, keep going.
They're going to be talking animals, yeah, man. As you can see, I'm getting nervous.
No, you're good. You're good.
What should I say? I don't want to give out too much, but yeah, guy takes some mushrooms, has an unfortunate set of things happen to him in the morning.
Yeah.
Has to leave Philadelphia where he's living.
Okay.
Goes to Pine Barrens, meets these 2 bears, and the adventures ensue, my friend. The adventures ensue with all different types of animals. We have a lot of great people on board doing voices too. I'd say I'm probably doing 5 different characters myself right now. But I mean, we have some really great people working on this project right now, and I'm really excited, man.
Now, can you share? You want to share any of those side characters, or keep it on wraps, and we'll keep moving along? What?
It's there's going to be Gunner the fox. He's a cynical fox.
Okay.
A very cynical fox. He lives in this fox den, and he I don't want to say too much about how his character is, but he is a. I'll leave it at that. He's cynical.
Okay.
He's cynical. There's Scrim, Scrim, Scrim the rat. Okay.
It's a very rat name.
It's very ratty, yeah. It took me actually a day to think of that name. Yeah. The original name was Chester, and I was like, that just does not sound interesting. Chester the rat. But he's this rat. He walks around with his 2 front paws because he had half of his body gnawed off by feral cats.
Okay.
And he's just beat up 2-legged rat. And then we got Stan the Hawk. He's got a convenience store up in the trees.
This is my favorite. I think this was my favorite.
Yeah, Stan the Hawk. He's gonna be a fun character, man. He's just gonna own a convenience store up in the trees. I can give that much away, and he's not gonna sell things that you and I would like.
Yeah.
Whereas you and me will go look for Doritos in a store. he'll probably have like wormitos or something.
Yeah,
like that. Like just animal
yeah.
things that
like puns, kind
of. Yeah, like little stupid things, like just. I mean, there's the whole Bobcat Mafia.
Okay.
I don't want to get too much into that though, because that's kind of later.
Okay.
The show gets picked up.
Okay, yeah, no, I understand.
But yeah, so we're just doing this.
I'm not trying to make you give the whole thing away.
I'm not sure about you, John. I think you are, man.
I just like Stan the Hawk. I just wanted you to talk
I
about Stan
I know.
the Hawk.
Joe's going to be definitely doing some voices on the show.
I know. I pitched a character, but he got rejected, guys.
He got shot down. No.
I got my character rejected, so.
Sorry. Joe can come
after we're done recording, I do want to talk to you about, like.
Yeah, definitely got to make a pitch.
Where am I going to be? Where do I fit in on this?
For sure. For sure.
But.
Actually. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. We'll keep moving along. Yeah. So on my end, this past week, pretty good. I went down the shore.
Okay.
By myself.
Right.
Except my cousin came and visited me for like a day.
Okay.
But yeah, I got to use my parents' place for the weekend, man.
That's what's up.
Off season. I think I've told you about this before. It's one of my favorite things to do because you're just kind of, it's like a retreat. Went to the casinos, and I did well.
Okay.
Did well. Well, we can talk about that later because that's actually going to be one of our topics today. Checked out a pretty good brewery.
Oh yeah.
Like one of those breweries, like local places, breweries. Yeah. And just kind of was able to chill and have a nice time.
Relax, yeah, man.
And I did want to. Caught myself. I made an error. I'm embarrassed. Last episode I said left in Italian is sinistra. It's sinistra.
Sinistra.
And that was so I felt bad. But remember, guys, it's not, I speak a little bit of Italian, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But speaking of which, I was recently talking to one of my cousins over in Italy.
Oh yeah?
By Facebook Messenger.
That's how it's done, yeah.
And I was pretty proud of myself. I was able to keep up. Had to use a little translator for some words here and there.
Okay.
But for the most part, I found myself, I was able to read stuff a lot better. But when it came to my turn to talk, I'll be like, all right, what's the word for this? Some of the vocab I was a little shaky on.
Yeah, the language structure too is a lot different. So
I got the language structure better. I would just be like, all right, what's that one word I got to put in to get this sentence out. Right. But for the most part, guys, I think I did well. I was pretty proud of myself that I remembered. That's awesome, remembered more than I thought I did.
Well, real quick, if you were just dropped off in Rome right now, give it a week, would you start speaking?
I think it would start coming back to me. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, because I don't know about you. If I'm talking to someone and they can speak English, but I can speak a little bit of their language, I'll do English because I get nervous.
Yeah, really.
But in Italy, if I'm talking to someone who cannot speak English,
what you gotta do,
I go in.
You go in.
I go in, and yeah, I think I would. Shame, I think it would start coming back to me a little bit more.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
But as you can imagine, I've been out of practice because, unlike you, most of my family doesn't really speak it. Sometimes my godfather he'll start speaking to me in Italian.
Yeah, it's a blessing. It's a curse, me, but it definitely has its ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets a little confusing sometimes because sometimes we'll all be just talking and me and my grandfather
code switching.
Not even that. I'll start speaking Spanish by accident. Like they kind of get a little confused. Like they speak Spanish as well, obviously. They understand a little bit, but I'll just start speaking Spanish and I'm like, wait a minute. Back to Italian, and then I get screwed up in English, and it's just not a good time. Just
a real quick question.
Okay.
It's something that's kind of bothered me since I was in Rome.
Okay.
When I was there, I had a few instances where, like, Spanish people, I think from Spain, I assume, would come up to me and start speaking Spanish to me, as if I would know it.
Right.
Like, stranger asked me for directions, but in Spanish. Not in Italian, not in English, in Spanish.
Right.
And since I speak some Spanish, and I was actually pretty decent at it at that time, that was probably the height of my Spanish abilities, I could answer them, but I was starting like, do I look like I'm from Spain or something? Like, I don't like...
No, I mean...
Do I look... I don't know, honestly. Like,
we look Italian for sure.
But do I look like...
Well, you know what? I will
say Spain Spanish.
I get called a lot. I get called Puerto Rican, and I get called Mexican, I think, more than I get called Italian. Well, that's not true. I get called Italian just the same. But, like, people always, like, come up to me like I'm this, like, mascot. Like, hey, are you Spanish? Are you Italian? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm Italian. Like, wow, that's so cool. And I'm like, what am I, like, the mastodon from freaking Ice Age? Like, am I one of a kind here?
Well, actually, we're gonna delve into that during this episode. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that.
See, I'm like
people treating you like a mascot.
Yeah,
we're gonna delve into that actually.
I think I got psychic powers here. I think I know what you're gonna say.
I know. I didn't tell you what we're doing today, or maybe I did.
No, you definitely didn't. I'm just psychic, bro. Come on, what are you talking about?
All right. No, I think I might have given you a brief. Well, I don't think I told you about that one. Anyways, Mike, as you may or may not know, October is Italian American Heritage and Culture Month.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I did not.
So we do.
I do now.
We do share this month with the Hispanics as well. It's also Hispanic American Month.
That's what's up.
You know, but it is our month.
Bien.
It's our month too. So, since we are Italian American, we will be honoring this month by doing a little bit of a series for the next few October episodes. I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of information about some famous Italian Americans, or Italian Americans who contributed to our country.
Okay, I like that.
So yeah, this is going to be the first of, I think we're going to do 4, because I think that's how many episodes we got in October.
4, yeah.
So, the first guy we got is Domingo Ghirardelli.
Domingo Ghirardelli.
Are you familiar with Ghirardelli?
Chocolate?
Yep.
I am.
There you go.
Very familiar.
There you go.
You can see me, right, Joe? I look like I eat a lot of chocolate.
Oh, Mike, don't get hard on yourself.
All right.
Although we should have gotten some Ghirardelli chocolate for today.
Yeah,
that was a bad. That would have been kind of cool. Okay. Anyways, he was born Domenico Ghirardelli. So I don't know if you caught that. Domingo is Spanish, but it's explained. So he was born in Rapallo, and that's near Genoa. And at that point, it was part of the Kingdom of Sardinia. Okay. So this is before the Kingdom of Italy is founded. Italy's still fractured in all these mini states. Right. In 1817. So he originally immigrated to Uruguay. Or is it Uruguay or Uruguay? I
think Uruguay or something.
Uruguay? Okay.
I'm just completely butchering that.
And then Peru in 1838, where he adopted the Spanish form of his name. He moved to California in 1848 and sold candies to the miners during the California Gold Rush of 1849.
Did not know that.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I didn't know a lot of this. And in 1852, he moved to San Francisco, where he established the Ghirardelli Chocolate Company, which is the second oldest American chocolate company. And there's a Ghirardelli Square is in San Francisco. It's named for him. And it was at his factory that the broma process was discovered. And Mike, don't ask me what that means. All I can tell you is it's the most common method used to make chocolate.
I love it.
I don't know what that means, but he's responsible for the broma process. Yeah. All right. It's endorsed by Mike.
Endorsed.
So he obtained his American citizenship in 1878, and he died in his hometown in 1894, but he was laid to rest in Oakland, California.
Really?
So, yeah.
Did he do that, do you know, like on purpose? Like, did he know he was dying and he wanted to die?
I didn't find that in my research. I don't know if he was visiting, but it was important. You know, America was important enough that he wanted to be buried here and not in his hometown. So.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating, actually. I want to do some research on that now.
No, yeah, man. And I'll read through the 2 other ones real quick, and then, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about this, because honestly, man, in this research, I've been kind of feeling pumped up with you know, pride in my heritage, because in this research, I was like, wow, our community has really contributed a lot to this country. That's what my research has given me here. So the next person I wanted to highlight today is Frances Xavier Cabrini, also known as Mother Cabrini. Are you familiar with her?
Man, I can't.
Okay. No, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
I hope I am.
So she was born Maria Francesca Cabrini in Sant'Angelo, Luggiano, Lombardy. And then at that time it was part of the Austrian Empire.
Wow.
Yeah. In 1850. Yeah, man. Italy did not come to be until 1861, really. So, yeah, before that it was like all these different kingdoms and empires. Yeah. And then in 1880, she founded the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and served as a superior general of that group of sisters until her death. And the sisters, they cared for orphans. That was like their mission, right?
Right.
And in 1887, at the advice of the Pope, she took her sisters to the United States, where she ministered to Italian immigrants and orphans, because the immigrant population was starting to rise at that time.
Right.
From Italy. And she set up missions throughout the country, including Philadelphia.
Okay, wow.
And, we got Cabrini University not too far from here. That's named for her.
Right, okay.
And also Latin America. Her sisters got all the way there. And she became an American citizen in 1909. She died in Chicago in 1917. And she was canonized a saint in 1946 and is the patron saint of immigrants.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Mother Cabrini?
Mother Cabrini, yeah. That's like her, well, people call it kind of like Mother Teresa.
Yeah, right, right. That's
like,
cool.
Yeah. So, the last guy I got for us is Joseph Petrosino, and he was born Giuseppe Petrosino in Padula, Campania, and it's near Salerno, and it was then part of the Kingdom of Two Sicilies.
Oh.
So, a lot of our ancestors, man, they were from the Kingdom of Two Sicilies.
Really, yeah.
I think Abruzzo was part of that. Calabria was definitely part of that.
Kingdom of Two Sicilies.
Yeah, that was the Kingdom of Two Sicilies.
That's good. Okay.
Now there are two of them. So Star Wars reference for you.
I'm scared.
He
said now there's two.
Yeah. This is getting out of hand. Now there's two of them.
Star Wars. Yeah, just hit me.
And when he was young, he and his cousin were sent to live with their grandfather in New York City. He joined the police force in 1883, and he excelled in his career through his ability to solve cases in the Italian community because he could speak the language. He also befriended the future president Theodore Roosevelt, who was then an influential New York State politician. And in 1908, he was promoted to lieutenant and took charge of a group called the Italian Squad. And this was an elite corps of Italian-American detectives who were tasked with solving organized crime cases in the Italian-American community and the Italian immigrant community. And Petrosino saw organized crime as like a great shame to his community and a great threat. Because a lot of organized crime, especially at this point, that was, Italian in origin, they preyed upon the Italian community mainly.
Exactly.
So he saw it as a duty to protect his community. And then during his career, he took on high-profile cases against the Black Hand racketeers. I don't know if you're familiar. Those of you who aren't familiar, the Black Hand was like kind of an early type of racketeer, kind of that predated the mafia as like, we're more familiar with. So he was involved in a lot of that. He attempted to prevent the assassination of President McKinley, but the Secret Service ignored his evidence, and and McKinley ended up getting assassinated.
Dude, you're giving me chills.
I know, right?
I didn't know any of this stuff, man.
And then Petrosino himself was assassinated in Palermo, Sicily, by Black Hand hitmen, while attempting to have many of the racketeers deported and banned from the United States. He had a big list. Wow. And he was they found out that he was coming to talk to, I think, the consul in Palermo, and they got him. And he's also remembered for pioneering a lot of crime fighting techniques, and I really thought it was good to put him in our list.
That's crazy. The Italian Squad. That's just wow, man.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, man. I'm not gonna lie. That story the most.
I thought you would like that one.
I'm glad to save that for last.
Yeah. Joseph Petrosino. Yeah.
Wow, man, that was interesting, man.
Yeah.
That definitely is. You know, if there's any movies or documentaries on him, or?
Oh yes, yeah. There have been films. I think there was an Italian film starring Ernest Borgnine. Okay. You know the famous actor Ernest Borgnine, who voiced Mermaid Man as we know him. But before that, guys, he was a famous respected Hollywood actor.
Wasn't just mermaid.
Yeah, he was, like, that wasn't his big thing. That was a sort of a side project, project in retirement kind of thing. But yeah, Joseph Petrosino has been depicted in film before. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, that's interesting, man. Wow.
But yeah, I mean.
I was just trying to think of something that I could say as you were talking to like kind of add in, but my jaw had dropped. Like I was stunned. Like when you were telling me all this stuff, the Italian Squad, and like they were just how you told me that he had evidence about this assassination, and like they didn't believe him. That's crazy, man. Like that's I have no words right now. Like,
I mean, never heard that story. And it didn't say why they didn't believe him, but it's like it's interesting, crazy, like man. Even though like Theodore Roosevelt was friends with him, vouched for him because Roosevelt was McKinley's vice president at that time. Okay. And the Secret Service still they ignored his evidence and they anarchist assassin was able to get him because he had been involved with investigating some anarchist terrorist organizations. Yeah. So like he had evidence about this. Like he had been investigating a case that led him to this guy and was like, this guy's going to try to kill the president.
And no one believed him. That's insane, man. That is nutty. No, the president was that's crazy, man.
Yeah. And, I mean, and guys, as we go through the month of October, we're going to go into more of famous Italian Americans, kind of from all walks of life as you see from this.
Yeah, right. No.
But, I think it's really cool. We got a guy who kind of changed chocolate.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a sister who, ministered to our ancestors, our community, right, yeah. and took care of people. And we got someone who, pioneered policing tactics and I think was a hero.
Yeah, for sure.
A true hero.
For sure. Like American and Italian hero.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's. Wow.
Yeah, and it was really like he really saw it as his duty to take on organized crime because he saw it as a threat to not only his people's well-being but also their reputation as a people. Man.
Exactly. Like we were saying in a couple episodes before, like my grandmother was really offended that we would watch The Sopranos because she was like, this does not depict the image of Italian people that I want my grandson seeing. Like she. People, they get offended by all that stuff, man.
No,
they don't like the mafia.
But interestingly enough, our nostalgic topic is actually The Sopranos.
I love it.
Dun, dun, dun!
I love
it. But yeah, man, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope you guys like that. We'll be doing three Italian Americans each episode in the month of October like that.
I'm excited for this, man. I'm actually excited.
Oh yeah, man.
Don't tell me nothing. No pre-production.
Okay, all right. I won't tell you about. I won't tell you about that.
There, brother. Hit me with a stone cold stunner on that one.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. So, kind of going off the theme of Italian American Heritage Month, I wanted to talk about Italian festivals.
Good.
So I was actually trying to go to the Old Time Italian Festival in Wildwood this past weekend. That was actually why I went down was able to use the house, my parents' house down there.
Did you end up going to the festival?
No, it got canceled because of the hurricane.
Man,
yeah,
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it was raining, so they canceled it.
Man.
But I have been to other ones, so I wanted to talk about that, and I want to talk about your experiences.
Oh, for sure, yeah, man.
Like, have you gone to a lot of Italian heritage festivals or saint festivals?
Don't stone me. I've been to one, but it was in Italy. So.
No, man. No, I'm sorry.
Doesn't count.
I said Italian American. Oh, no. Now, all right. Now, share your experience. Share your experience.
He's right.
Share your experience. Share your experience.
Don't kill me though. I don't remember which saint it was for.
Well, just tell me about it.
I just remember we're on this dirt road. I'm trying.
And
to
I
get
guarantee you.
House.
Okay, it's a rural thing, man. Don't beat yourself up. I guarantee you. No, like only like the Vatican and the people in that village probably know about that saint. Like, it's probably the most obscure saint.
Nobody take offense to this, but I don't remember this saint.
Well, I'm not kidding. I bet you only the people in that village know who. Saint, right? Yeah.
No, for sure, man.
Yeah, that's how like rural Italy is, man. They have like
it was surreal though, man, because I wasn't expecting to see that, and
just happened.
Like crosses and free like candles and all this stuff.
So you were at like a really like religious festival kind of thing.
We were driving, like I said, to a relative's house, and we saw this. My Uncle Don was like, "Hey, we gotta get out of the car. We gotta like join
experiences." And
it was like, yeah, for sure, man. Like this is like in Castle, like of course, like
that's beautiful.
I am actually really mad at myself that I don't know the name of the festival. That actually sickens me because that'd be really interesting.
Yeah, man. But if you just listen, you just walked into it. It's not. I don't think anybody's gonna be like, "Oh, how dare you?" It's like.
I mean, I didn't get to eat there.
Was it even your village?
No.
Yeah. So all right, man. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah.
No, but it was Joe. You probably have much more experience with these festivals and all that, but from that one experience I had, I would love to do more, and that was just such a beautiful sight to see, such an unexpected sight to see. These people of my, like,
your region,
people,
yeah.
Like, it's just, man, it was crazy, man. It was a crazy experience.
No, that's great, man. Yeah, I mean, I would love to go to the feast of St. Francis of Paula.
Okay.
We got the in Maya.
Right.
The village that my great grandmother's from. And experience that because that's when they eat pasta chichi because he was vegan. Man, remember I told you about that? Yeah. But over here, I was kind of going for the more like Italian American festival. So like, I've been a few times with my friends. My friend's mom is from Wilmington. And, she got connections to Little Italy in Wilmington, which there is. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know
Wilmington has a Little Italy.
It's fascinating. I want to check that out.
And there's a church, the St. Anthony of Padua church. Okay. Beautiful church. It's a replica of a church from Italy that the Italian immigrants built a replica of this church.
It's probably gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, they were all, masons. Yeah, building it. Yeah, like, it's beautiful.
I can imagine.
But they put on this giant, like, week-long festival, like, Italian Heritage Festival. They do the Saint Procession, I think, but they also have, like, all Italian food. They have, like real deal carnival, like, amusement park rides.
Really, yeah?
Like
cannoli shaped.
No, nothing like that. No, just like
Italian American themed. Like
I mean it's just amusement park rides. But like I'm not joking. It's like it's actually like high quality. Like it's not just like like a crappy like church festival. Yeah. Like this is like real deal rides that you would like go to the boardwalk on.
Okay.
Like. Yeah, but it's always it's around June 13th because that's the feast day. So it's whatever week that is.
Right.
It's when they have this, and I love it. And I wanted to go to the one in Wildwood, but
that's like a real feast.
Maybe next time.
Do you really feast? Like, do you get down with the food, man? Like, you start tearing it up?
Yeah, I mean not too much.
Or is the name feast almost more or less like a name for it? Like, do you really feast? Like.
I guess like back in the day it was that, right? But I mean, but hey, they got like porchetta sandwiches. They got
they
got everything. They got street food. They've got
so if you wanted to feast,
they've got like fine cuts of meat too. They got everything.
I'm hungry again, Joe. I'm hungry again.
It's all right. That's all right. We got time. We got some more work to do tonight. We can order some. But yeah, so but kind of something I want to kind of mention though, something that I always liked in The Sopranos is when Paulie is like the chairman of like his church's like Saint Festival.
Oh god.
And he goes and like the priest is like trying to get more money out of him, like muscling more money out of him because they need to repair the Saint's golden hat. and Paulie just refuses to like fix the hat. And like he's like and like the carnival's like the lowest safety standards and like
imagine.
Yeah, like that. But I always like that scene where, like, the priest is, like trying to get more money, and he's just so insulted.
I know.
He's like, he's not getting the hat. He like leaves the priest's office, like, yeah, but yeah. So, you know, any of you guys out there, there's a local Italian American festival. I suggest you go to it. You'll get, at the very least, you'll have good food. At the best, you'll have great rides.
There you go.
You know.
There you go. The best.
So.
Good.
So yeah. But Mike, as I mentioned, went to the casino.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Went well.
Went well?
Went well.
How well? You mind me asking on live microphone?
I don't know. I don't know. Is that tacky?
Yeah, don't say.
It wasn't that much, but I turned some, you know, a little bit into a decent amount. Nothing. All right, guys. It's not like I won thousands of dollars, but
that's all right.
But I walked away.
Joe turned a craft single.
I'll put it this. I'll put it this way. It covered the rest of my weekend.
Okay, there you go.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's always the best.
And went into my week.
Oh man, that's always the best. Yeah, man, that's great.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I love the casinos, man. I love them. I love them so much.
Me too.
They are so fun. I don't know if it's something in the air. I don't get tired of the casino. I feel like I'm in the best mood at the casino until I start losing.
Those cigarettes just bring you life.
Yeah, man, all that cigarette.
All those old people smoking.
All those old people smoking and walking around on rollators. Just like
on what?
Rollators and their walkers. It's just invigorating, man. It just does something to you, you know what I mean? Nah, I can honestly stay at a casino for 3 days, Joe.
Not yet.
Yeah,
really?
My grandfather can. He does it, so yeah. But I think I could. At least 2 days max.
I mean, what are like some of your rules for casinos? Because I have my rules, and I have my machines and my games that I stick to. Now, one of my rules is I only bring in a certain amount of money, and I have to consider that money lost money.
Right.
All right, and I don't keep. Oh man, I better add another 20. Better add another 20. No, once it's done, it's done.
Good, man. That's good.
Now, do you have that? Do you follow that same code?
Ah, man, I try, Joe, but those ATMs, man, you know, you ever see it like a film when someone's in the desert and they're dehydrated and they start seeing like hallucinations?
Oasis.
Yeah, they see like a waterfall. That's what I see when I'm like, I lost everything in blackjack and I see that ATM and I'm like, you know what? I'm going in the car. And I go in the car and I'm like, you know what? I'm going back to the ATM. I go right back to the blackjack table.
Oh man, that's kind of bad.
Yeah, no, that's why I choose not to go to the casino. Yeah. It was at a point, Joe, and like I wasn't a addictive gambler or nothing like that, but I just loved cards. Like I love it's fun.
See, now I stick to slots and roulette, and I think that's probably.
If you and I went to the casino together, we wouldn't see each other at all. I'd be like, all right, Joe, I'll see you later, bro.
But you know what's weird, man? I almost kind of prefer that. I like going to the casino with people, but I would be perfectly content. All right, we walk in together.
What are we, like grade school kids? Like
shake hands and be like, all right, I'll see you in an hour at the bar. We'll get a drink, talk about how we're doing, you know.
Of course, yeah, man.
No, but yeah, as far as when we're playing, we can separate. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
One of my rules, I do have my rules. One of those is I don't talk to nobody. Like I get offended actually when people try like talking to me at like the table. Like, I'm not here to be a friend. Like, no offense. Like, I'm here to just play. Like, I'm here to gamble like you are. Like, I'm not here to talk to you about what your daughter's doing for school while you're beating me in, like, poker. I'm not trying to do all that. You know what I mean? So I don't talk to nobody.
See, with slots, I'm more likely to, like, talk to people. I'm okay with talking to people than...
Yeah, that's...
Roulette, no. Roulette, please don't talk to me.
Right.
Roulette, man, I lock in on roulette.
Of course, man. That's what you're there for. You're not there to talk to
like, if I'm with my friends... And I'm playing roulette, and they're trying to ask me, like, oh, how you play it? I'm like, get away from me.
Ask
I'm like, I don't know. Figure it out yourself.
All right, you don't got time for all that.
Now, with slots, I don't care.
Well, I mean, it's easy to... Hey, Joe, how do you play the slot? Pull that lever or press that button, and then wait for the magic things to start happening on the screen.
Yeah, wait for the numbers to go for like these dragons to fly around or the leprechaun to dance.
Yeah, I love the gorilla that beats his chest and like tokens just fly out from behind him.
I like the buffalo one. I never play it, but I always like to just walk by it and it's just like buffalo and
I will say slots though are always my last line of defense when I'm at the casino. When I'm down like $100, When I'm down to $100, not down $100.
$300. No, I'm
down to 3,000 now. When I'm down to like even 50.
When I got my car's pink slip, like
when I got that 49-cent slip of my voucher, man, I just go right to the slots. I do. I'm not gonna lie. One time I was down and out, man.
Mike, I just had to ask you, did I just say something stupid? Is a pink slip a thing for your car?
A pink slip for my car?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No.
Pink slip. Talk to me.
Oh, never mind.
What was your intent, Joe? What was your intent with this?
Is that like a thing?
A pink slip?
What's it called?
The voucher?
What's the thing in your car? Like, it's like, never mind.
Oh, no,
I sound like such an idiot.
The audience is here. Well, talk. That's like me when I'm like, hey, Joe, what's this mean?
Isn't there like a scene in the Fast and Furious where they play for, like, their cars, but, like, he's got, like, a...
Oh, like your registration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know what you're saying.
Does he call it a pink slip? No.
I never call it. I don't think so. I think so. They are pink usually. Yeah.
All right.
No, they usually.
Thanks, man.
Joe, come on,
right.
man.
I don't know.
It's a pink slip. Come on. Nah, man.
I swear that's what Vin Diesel says in the
probably
movie.
definitely does. That's what Vin Diesel will say. Like, yo, where's your pink slip?
Yeah, something like
That pink slip's for family.
Okay.
That was not.
All right, I'm sorry.
Vin Diesel. That was not good. I've done better.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Okay.
That was my worst Vin Diesel ever.
No, it's fine, man.
It's not. It's on microphone. It's on record. These people are hearing it right now, and I hope they love it.
Mike, I'm just trying to be polite. It was terrible, but I'm just trying to be
No,
polite. I don't understand why you're like just keep digging yourself into this, man. Dude, all right, no, seriously. Oh man,
Joe,
we can't, Mike.
Joe.
You got to stop doing this. All right, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna go back in now. All right. So, anyways,
we're kidding everyone. I'm joking. You know what? I'll play the drums. People know.
But I wonder if anybody would think that actually is real. We'll have to see.
I mean,
Joe, not to fool anybody.
Aside from hosting a podcast together, you and I are. I'd say we're actors. I'd say we. No, I'd
like
actors.
to be.
Joe, I've seen you act, and I've acted with you, and we'll practice.
You're gonna get me salty about the fate of that project.
Don't worry, that project's alive, man. The project's got a pulse, man.
I know, and I'm trying to get you to do a spin-off of that.
Had me getting chills.
I'm trying to talk you into it. Everybody, put pressure on Mike.
Put pressure.
Do a prequel to the Vendetti story, all right?
It's going to happen.
All right?
It's going to happen, man.
Even if it's a short film. Mike.
That's what we'll do, a short film.
If it's a short film.
Guys, we're going to make it a plan right now. We'll start writing. We'll start pre-production of a Vendetti. We'll call it, I don't even know what.
I don't know yet either.
We'll start writing, though. Let's say, like, after October, maybe... Say, like, 2 months. You and me sit down.
Yeah.
Start right, because everything with public decency, the podcast, we're still getting this up and going, and everything.
Yo, is your cat down here?
I hope not.
Kitty?
I hope Kitty's not here. Kitty. I hope he's not down here.
All right.
He's a great cat.
We haven't heard from the cricket.
Yeah, no, we haven't heard from the cricket. I think he kind of caught the idea that the fans don't like him.
But you know who I have heard from?
Who?
Dennis.
I'm feeling like he's not watching.
Nah, he is. I actually spoke with him yesterday.
I'm feeling like he's watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's
watching. He confirmed that he's watching.
I love you, Dennis.
I mean, Dennis, you know I love you.
I love you.
I love
I hope
you.
Dennis laughed at that. I've definitely said that to Dennis before, and he laughed.
Yeah.
I hope he laughed at that.
Yeah, Dennis is the best, right?
Dennis is a great guy.
Nah, but the casinos. What are we doing here? Was there anything else you wanted to say with casinos?
Man. I mean,
I feel like I did cut you off.
No, Joe.
I have a tendency to do that.
Joe cuts me off. He'll ask me a question and then he'll cut me off. No,
My mom has told me that I cut. She's like, you cut Mike off too much.
Nah, man. If your mother's listening, I don't disagree with her either. So I don't disagree with people's mothers. I always agree with mother. So your mother's right, Joe. Stop cutting me off.
Ooh.
I'll take your mother's side before you, and I'll take anybody's mother's side before them.
Okay. Okay.
Because my mom would beat me if I didn't.
Oh.
No, she wouldn't.
Okay.
It's respecting.
Speak.
So, Joe, she's right.
Yeah. No.
Whatever she says is right.
All right. All right.
No, that's great. Man.
All right. So what I wanted to talk about was the
I'm excited.
Sopranos.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I think it's pretty safe to say, Mike, you and I are both pretty big fans of that series.
I'd say I'm just as much as a fan of The Sopranos as I am to Star Wars. Just totally apples and oranges, different beasts. But I think I love them both the same.
I mean, so for those of you guys who don't know, Sopranos was a crime drama TV series that was created by David Chase, and it starred James Gandolfini as Tony Soprano, who is at the beginning of the series. I think he's a capo of a crew. He just leads a crew in a fictional crime family that
Jackie April's
kind of
the boss at that time.
Controls like North Jersey, but it's it's a fictionalized. They're all fictional characters.
Yeah, no, right.
And he begins to have panic attacks. So he goes and sees a therapist, which is sort of very taboo for a mobster to be going
very
to
talk about their problems.
I mean,
doctor.
And he has his wife Carmela, played by Edie Falco,
right,
excellently. I mean, the whole cast is fantastic.
Yeah, the whole cast.
I really should say.
They're all great.
And then he's got his his sort of protege, Christopher Moltisanti, played by Michael Imperioli. That's sort of like some of the main cast that I wanted to touch on. But through the series, the series ran from 1999 to 2007.
Right. Yeah, man.
How many seasons that would be? 8 seasons.
8 or 9. Yeah.
8 or 9.
I think.
Really. And throughout it, Tony sort of struggles balancing his crime life with his family, because he lives like a suburban life.
Right, yeah.
Like that's like food, that's part of like the thing, and like when he goes to work in the day, he like could be like ordering someone's death, and then he goes and picks up his daughter from like soccer practice.
And like talks to her about how he's not in the mafia and how it doesn't exist.
That's like early, when they're doing on college tours. Right. Yeah, she finally kind of catches on. She's like, "Are you?"
Tony, I think, has his first whacking actually that we see.
While he's in New England, taking his daughter on college tour, he sees a guy who cooperated with like authorities and got like what was it called?
He was like
witness protection placement.
Yeah.
And he sees him, and he's like, he's at the motel that they're staying at, and he sees him and recognizes him.
What a coincidence that was.
Yeah.
What a coincidence that be, man. That's.
But through the series, he struggles with his marriage, and he rises through the ranks of the this fictional, I think it's the DeMeo crime family, which it's not, and guys, it's not a real organization.
Like that.
It's just like a, it's all fictionalized, so they had creative freedom. It's not like Goodfellas, where it's based off real people. Exactly. Like, I think they mention real events, but
but it's not real people. No. Yeah, none of these people existed. No, it's funny though how a lot of like people in organized crime, like when The Sopranos, I'd say like even season 2 to 3 when it was fresh, they thought they were being listened to. They were like, "Yo, like this is
really
a lot." Like, yeah, there's actually audio footage from the FBI of 2 street soldiers in the mafia, New Jersey mafia, talking about like, "Yo, like
how's this David Chase know all this?"
Yeah, like they were just like bugging out, but they were almost intrigued. Like it was just crazy. Like, man, that show's just like. That's crazy, man.
Well, and that's something that this show actually, for listeners, like it was pretty revolutionary show. Like it was this time when HBO was producing these shows, The Sopranos and Oz, and it really changed what television could be. You could have cinematic, movie-like writing and design in a television program. And that was like, now, Mike, that's like almost every show.
It's everything, yeah.
But in a lot of ways, people do point, you can thank The Sopranos for that. They kind of proved to executives that format not only is, creatively good, but can work. It's viable. People will watch it.
For sure. Like, do you think Breaking Bad would have been what it was without Sopranos?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Would it have even been made?
Right. Pure speculation.
I
wonder that too, man.
Exactly.
Well, and also, to hear James Gandolfini's opinion, talking about the pilot episode of The Sopranos, and he's like, he thought it was funny. He's like, hey, all these, overweight Italian guys sitting around a grill, no one's going to watch this. And it became, in my opinion, one of the best shows on TV. In my opinion, top 3.
Yeah, I think it was... Well, I'm not kidding. It's recognized by critics as a game changer.
Yeah, man. Really, you can't go wrong with any episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah,
tune in at any time and be interested.
And what was so good, I think, about it was... Yeah, it was, realistic. They did live, kind of normal lives in this crazy life. So it's I guess what James Gandolfini was saying, fat guys.
Yeah, he was like, no one's gonna watch a bunch of fat Italians talk about sausage and
it became.
Ducks and he thought it was gonna get laughed off and be canceled.
But it was it was an enduring series and not without its controversy.
Of course, of course.
Both from fans and TV critics, and the Italian American community, which you touched on a little bit there. Right. But now for those of you who hate spoilers, I'm going to tell you to tune out. Yeah, definitely tune this part out now.
But for sure.
Most famously, the ending of Sopranos when it's they're in the middle of a war with the New York family, and Tony has just whacked a bunch of New York guys off. And he's waiting to meet his family at a diner, and he's nervous, and they're playing "Don't Stop Believing."
He's eating onion rings,
and the door dings and opens. He looks up, and it fades to black. So we're left to not know was that a New York soldier that comes in and shoots him, or was that his daughter Meadow, who was the last person to come and meet with them?
And I remember
it was a big controversy. A lot of people, Mike, I don't know if you know this, they thought their TV cut out. They thought they lost signal.
My mother would rent. She would religiously watch every Sopranos episode. I remember calling. I forgot what she did. She had called Comcast to rent or to purchase that episode of Sopranos that night. However it worked. And we're watching, waiting to see what happens.
Don't stop. And then it just cuts.
My mom freaked out. My mom was cursing. She was losing her mind. Even me, I was like, "Whoa, what the?"
Yeah, because you're thinking that this is the finale. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And then,
I can give you right off the bat though, at least 2 conspiracies as to what happened. One is, do you remember the Russian hitman that Christopher and Paulie were trying to whack? And
I'm so glad you mentioned that because that is one of my favorite episodes. Is when Chris and Paulie's kind of a wacky old mob, older mobster,
bad man,
but he's also a weird guy.
Yeah, he's funny.
And they're they go in the Pine Barrens and they get in an altercation with a Russian mobster.
Right.
They accidentally hit him in
the head.
And they're going to dispose of the body. They open the trunk. The guy's still alive. Runs away. They shoot him in the head. The guy keeps running.
Yeah.
They can't find him.
And that's it.
And then one of my favorite parts. I'm sorry, man. I just need to say this because it's one of my favorite quotes of Sopranos. Is Tony calls Paulie to tell him that this guy that they're dealing with was in the interior troops of Russia, and that's Russia's kind of elite group of soldiers, and he was in the Chechen War, and he was so Tony's listen, you got the guy was in the Interior Ministry, he killed 24 Chechen rebels, and the phone's cutting out, and Paulie's also kind of dumb, and Paulie says to Chris, he's like, Chrissy, you'll never believe this. The guy was an interior decorator. He killed 24 Czechoslovakians. And then Christopher's just oh, that's weird, because his house looked like shit.
Dude,
but it's just
that was such a crazy episode, man. That was really cool.
Well, yeah.
And going to Pine Barrens and everything. That was cool.
Yeah, that was like my favorite.
Pine Barrens were dumping grounds.
That was my favorite.
No, I love that, man. But there's a speculation that he is the one that kills Tony.
Okay.
There's another conspiracy theory that we as the audience get whacked. That stuck out to me, and I think I heard that from David or from somebody that was speaking to David Chase, and like they were like, "Yeah, this was kind of like something he said. This could have been a possibility. Correct me if I'm wrong." David Chase said all this, but the viewer gets whacked. Yeah, like we're along this process the whole time as it's almost like the viewer's a character itself. We're a character ourselves.
I heard David Chase give this other reason. Maybe I could be wrong.
I may be wrong. You're probably right about it.
It was like he was making like a political statement.
Okay.
About like George Bush's presidency.
Oh yeah.
Like, and he was like, he wanted to have Tony whacked, but thought he couldn't because like if George Bush doesn't get in trouble for everything he's done,
then Tony.
Like I was saying, yeah. So it was like I don't know. I don't know, man. I thought I saw an interview where it was like he was making some sort
that
of
would make more sense to David Chase saying that
some political
someone hearing David Chase
statement or some kind of stance.
Man, there's so many different things I'm hearing. Like I don't know. You know what I mean? And I think that's a lot of people hate that, but I think that's great filmmaking.
But another thing though, they think it's because he stopped seeing the therapist.
Yeah.
Then, and that's why we're no longer in his life. Because he's now closed off again.
Yeah,
you know, because that's like that scene where Dr. Melfi, played by Lorraine Bracco, who some of you guys might know from Goodfellas.
Karen.
Yeah. She closes the door with like authority, just like we're done, because she comes to the realization, in her professional opinion, she's like, my patient, Tony Soprano, is a sociopath and is beyond my abilities to treat him at this point. Like, I cannot...
Touching scene, I'm not gonna lie. Emotional scene, man.
And he's, like, distraught. He doesn't get it. He's like, what do you mean? Like, why can't you see me anymore?
It was a joke, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was emotional, man. There's so many different things about that show that just...
Oh, yeah.
They hit you in all different ways, man. You know what I mean?
But, like, the two things... Another, like, scenes... I mean, of course, his mother, Tony Soprano's mother, is just one of, like, the... she rivals Darth Vader as a villain, man.
She's like wow.
Like,
trying to get her own son. Wow.
Yeah, and there's that scene where, like, she had just tried to, like, she had talked her brother-in-law, Uncle June, into, like, having him... whacked, so she like kind of helps set it up, and like she's in the hospital, kind of like
getting put in the room.
Like, is she like feigning illness? Like she's not really.
Yeah, like.
And he's like talking to her, like as they're wheeling her in. He's like, I know what you did, you miserable. Like he's yelling at her, and then you see her just like crack this like sadistic smile, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, she was brutal.
Like,
man.
she was
brutal,
because she was supposed to be I forget what disorder she's supposed to have. She is supposed to have like borderline personality disorder, something.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And actually, David Chase has said that she is based off his own mother.
Really?
That his own mother, like, because she's incapable of having, like, kind of meaningful relationship. Like,
right.
Like she'll like sabotage any like heartfeltness that will happen. Like, and you see that. I don't know if did you see The Many Saints in New York?
I didn't.
Newark.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Okay, all right. Then I won't say there's an interesting scene that touches upon that in that, but I will not mention that. And then for those of you guys who don't know, I think about last year, David Chase made and released The Many Saints in Newark, which is a prequel to The Sopranos, and James Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini, plays a young Tony Soprano, which I thought was really real cool. And you know what, Mike? He did a good job. It wasn't like, oh, he looks like him, let's give him a shot. He did a good job as an actor. And because he had to, it's not just like, oh, you have to look like Tony Soprano. Like, he had to copy the mannerisms of that character. So it's not just like taking a photo shoot as like he still had to act. Yeah, he still had to act, and he did good. And he did a good job. I give him a thumbs up for that.
Watching it, did you tell yourself like this is definitely young Tony? Like, or was there a part where you were just like, Well,
I mean, no. I was like, I could see he's got the mannerisms and like the kind of the early stages of that Tony Soprano, kind of hunched over walk,
burly guy,
but not like fully yet, because he's still like a young guy, but like
that's so cool, man. I you know what, I gotta see that movie, man.
There's like a scene where like this guy like is like, hey, jerk off, like speed it up, and like young Tony like turn around like, what did you say? Like, and he's able to mimic like the iconic Tony like face.
What
like
feeling that would have to be to play a character that your father played, who's passed on.
And also one of the most iconic television characters of history.
For sure, man.
I mean, that's a pretty that is an intimidating task.
I think Tony Soprano, totally off topic. Remember the Fairly Odd Parents? Wasn't there a character based off of Tony Soprano? Like, wasn't it like Wanda's dad?
Oh my gosh.
He had like the garbage industry. He was literally Tony Soprano with fairy wings. You remember that, right?
Mike, I do, but up until now, I never realized that's what they were doing.
Yeah, like
I never realized
Soprano spoof, like straight up.
I knew that he was supposed to be like a mobster parody. It never occurred to me that was supposed to be Tony Soprano.
Yeah, my mom, because I was watching him.
That's so funny.
And she said something like,
"No, you're right."
Doing Sopranos. I was like, huh? Didn't he have like a
No, you are right.
But
you are right.
He woke up with something in the. There's something.
Mr. Nene!
Yeah.
It was like a horse head pillow.
Like a spoof of The Godfather with a character based off of Sopranos.
He's got like a He's got like a horse head pillow, and he's just like, Mr. Nene!
Yeah, that's what it was. It definitely wasn't a decapitated.
No.
Nickelodeon show.
No, but you're right, dude. That's so. I never even thought that they drew a Tony Soprano fairy.
With
okay.
5 o'clock shadow, you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
That's it, essentially.
All right.
The voice, too, they really tried mimicking it, I think.
I'd have to watch it again. I just remember what he looked like.
I think his name was like Big Daddy or something.
Yeah, it was Big Daddy. Big Daddy.
Tony Pajamas, I wouldn't say it was a Tony Soprano.
No, yeah. No, it was definitely like Big Daddy. I think it was just Big Daddy.
Big Daddy. That was funny, man.
But yeah, so...
Do you have any lines from The Sopranos that you take, like... I know there's one for me that I'll tell my kids, like... Uncle Junior's with Tony. I don't know how I'm going to use this, but...
Okay.
Man, they're like the person with a Virginia ham under their arm that cries about not having no bread. That stuck with me like, wow, like, you have so much, but you cry about what you don't have, basically, is what Uncle June was saying about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she was saying that her dad left her with, like, chi-chi beans, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, Uncle June was like, your father left your mother with a package that could choke an elephant. And I was like, man. And he would always say these things. Uncle June would always say some funny things that I'll take with me for the rest of my life and say to my kids one day.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm like gonna pass on any Sopranos quotes, but like one of, and I got, because we're kind of getting tight on time, but I wanted to get a few more things in. I think one of the most interesting scenes is when Tony goes to the retirement home that Uncle June's at, and this is the final episode. And Uncle June is now pretty much succumbed completely to Alzheimer's.
Right, man. Yeah.
And his memory's gone. And Tony goes there to come and like kind of tell him off.
Yeah,
because they have a very tumultuous relationship. I mean, as we mentioned in like the early season, Uncle June tries to get him whacked
along with his mom.
Along
with Tony's mother.
And Tony kind of stops. And he's like, do you even know who I am? And Uncle June says, yeah, I used to play catch with you. And like in the Alzheimer's, like he just remembers him as like just some kid that he had some kind of connection to.
Yeah.
And and like Tony says, what's he say? Like, this thing of ours. And he's like, my dad and you used to run all in North Jersey.
Yeah,
and Uncle June just kind of goes like, that's nice.
Yeah.
And just kind of like looks out the window. And there's a niceness, but also like a sadness to that
very
scene. Like,
very sad.
Because it is like,
it's so real, dude. Alzheimer's is such a real thing.
But it's also like, we're talking about like two guys who have led pretty bad lives.
Yeah.
But they're still, like they still like have a, I don't know. It's like weird. It's like, weird to it's kind of sad because it's like that's all they.
That's all they know.
But in the end, like it wasn't even worth it because now he's just.
It's deteriorating.
Living in poverty, like in like a bad retirement home, and it's just like.
It's crazy that
I don't know. It kind of like makes you think, like, oh man, what was it all for?
Yeah,
guys,
for sure,
like,
man. All that money saving and all that, horrible things that they'll do, for sure, man.
But who was your favorite character? That's who I wanted to.
My favorite character was Paulie Walnut's favorite.
Okay, good choice.
Paul Guiltieri, man. Guiltieri.
I liked he is good. I kind of liked Sylvia Dante. As you might be like,
hey, don't.
Yeah. And he's played by Steven Van Sant.
Steve Van Sant, yeah.
Who
and his wife plays his wife.
I did learn that later, but Steven Van Sant, some of you guys might know him as Little Stevie.
Yeah.
Who is part of the E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen's band. So I grew up. My mom's a big Bruce fan, so I grew up, also listening to my mom's music.
Right.
So I loved Little Stevie. Like he was always one of my favorite like band members. Because he was cool. He wears the bandana and stuff.
Cool, man. He was cool, man.
And I just loved that character, like because I feel like I make those kind of faces that
he makes.
The
frowny lip that he always has.
The kind of like like when people do imitations of me, it kind of looks like they're doing an imitation of Sylvia Dante.
That's a good way to put it, because you do have some of his
his fashion, man. I love his fashion sense. Like I love Sylvia Dante.
Where you see him and his wife talking about something, but you just see his closet. And you're
like, it's like silk shirts, and it's like, dang. But one of my favorite lines does come from Sylvia Dante, and it's like it's the one they're Sylvia's leading the protest against tearing down the Columbus statue, and like. Because there's Native American activists who obviously that they want to see the statue removed because they see it as a symbol of colonialism and genocide against their people, and Silvio and his group, they're seeing it as a symbol of their heritage.
Disrespect to their heritage.
So, but Tony doesn't give a crap about it and goes to the protest and is like. Trying to get him in the car, and he's like, why what are you doing all this for? Why are you getting so whipped up in this? And Silvio's like, he's like, T, my dad was a Knight of Columbus. I just that's which is it's like a Catholic social group for men. But it's just I don't know, man. You know me. I find lines like that to be funny. Just T, my dad was a Knight of Columbus. It's like I have to do this.
Sylvia Dante, man. What a character he is, man. What a character. And Steve Van Sant, Van Sant was actually briefly was in this Santa Claus film with Kurt Russell.
Was he?
Yeah, Kurt Russell plays this really cool Santa.
I heard about that. I didn't know he was in it.
He goes to jail. I'm not trying to spoil anything for you or anybody watching, but Stevie Van Sant is there in the jail cell, and the musical just starts out of nowhere.
Oh wait, I think I did see this.
I
think I actually did see this.
Man. It was Christmas something. I forget the name of the movie, but I'm just all I can think of.
Well, I think I saw that scene. Yeah.
I'm just why is Sylvia Dante in a show with Santa Claus singing a song? I didn't see it as Stevie Van Sant. I saw it as Sylvia Dante playing a freaking song, but he had the bandana. A leopard bandana.
No, that's how he actually dresses. He doesn't dress like Sylvia Dante in real life at all.
Not at all, man.
But he was also on, I think, one of Netflix's first TV series. It was called Lilyhammer. He plays a mobster that's put into witness protection.
I think you told me this.
Gets sent to Norway, Lilyhammer, Norway, and then starts a mafia in this little North Pole town.
Is it a comedy?
Yeah. It's I think it's a comedy. But yeah, so
nah, man,
we'll have to check that one out. But
I feel like we're definitely gonna have to do another episode of The Sopranos someday, like a Sopranos Part 2. I feel like there's so much that we haven't talked about.
No, yeah, but we're kind of running out of time. We're gonna wrap this guy up. Once again, guys, thank you for listening. Please share, subscribe. Keep supporting us, and we're gonna keep trying to do good things here. Keep trying to grow it.
For sure. Don't let us spoil anything. Watch Sopranos. It's great.
Yes. All right. Take care, guys.
Take it easy, guys. Have a good one.